Yeah, so check it. So I got two things going at once right now. I'm gonna be doing this live just in case you all got some questions or what I'm doing. Don't ask me any illegal stuff because I'm not doing anything illegal, all right? So if you ask me any illegal stuff, I'm just going to blanket and just pretend that I don't see what you're talking about. So the live is going on. Yes, Adam, peace, peace, peace. The live is going on, and then I got a video that I'm gonna upload directly to YouTube right after this, you know. So if you don't see things clear, don't worry about it. You'll see it in the live, in the YouTube connect. Stopping by for a second, then get into work. All right, Tone, this will be all here. So I know we coming into season. People been asking me all the time and stuff like that, more and more. Yo, when are you gonna start doing this? When are you gonna start doing that? The shrooms, la 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 la. Okay, yes, you know, I have returned officially. I am here again. It's been a while. I don't know, it's probably been close to 2 years now. But yeah, that time was needed. I forgot I got to talk into here as well. Let's talk into here. So excuse me if I feel like I'm going on my Stevie Wonder vibes over here. It's na, na, na. But yeah, it took a while. We dived in deep, and we were going in deep journeys. Like, you know, for those that remember, I would be sharing a lot of the old stuff, updating a lot of the old stuff, and even just talking on, you know, where I stand based on things that I've said in the past in particular videos. So that will be an interesting dive. But we were diving in for a good year and a half or so, you know, every 2 weeks, deep journeys, deep journeys, deep journeys. Learned a lot. You all have bore witness to my, I guess, constant evolution or switching into different things, you know. And that definitely comes from these experiences, you know, being able to, sometimes you need something else. Sometimes you need something else to really just kick you in the ass. Just, you know, we need that chaos, unfortunately. We need that chaos to really have breakthroughs, to really shift, you know. We don't know how to do it when we're just in our state of comfort. When all hell is breaking loose and shit like that, then it's like, yo, okay, maybe I need to switch this. Maybe I'm gonna stop doing this. So going into these deep dives with the shrooms, you know, it did that for me. But it was more so exploration as well. Anyway, what we here for, BRFs, right? I'm gonna let you know how to go through with it. So when I talk about BRFs, that means brown rice flour, showing you how to make cakes for your shroom cultivation. You know, whether you're dealing with edibles or you're dealing with non-edibles, that's what I'll say. These are definitely steps that's important to know in your shroom cultivation. So where we start, don't worry, I'm gonna bring everything to you. Keep it nice and simple. And you just keep coming around with me. So coming back over here, before when I was first doing it, I was searching for the specific jars and the right shit. Look, check it. I just went into Aldi's this rising. I looked for some jars. These jars had some crappy green mint that people like here in England. I don't know. It says mint sauce and lamb sauce, whatever the case. It was 180 mil jars. So that's cool. I used to use 230 or 240 mil jars and stuff like that. But I like using smaller jars because it allows the mycelium to just cultivate faster. The bigger the jar you use, the longer it takes to cultivate and the longer that other things could go wrong. So I'm not gonna get real sciencey and in-depth. Everybody has their ways that they like to do shit. I'm gonna get straight to the point. You do what you want, follow it, don't follow it, learn from it, don't learn from it, whatever, I don't care. Got me? Got me. Okay, that's me talking in two cams at once. Talented. Okay, so I went into Aldi's, I grabbed this crap, I took it to the allotment, I poured out the crap that was in it because I didn't want it. I don't care what's in here. I just wanted the clean jars. After I got these clean jars, the label was on here. I just took these jars and put it in boiling water. You know, show them all the jars we got. Let me turn this around so you can see the jars as well. So I had got 16 jars. Emptied that all out. We came over here, boiled it, removed the labels, and boom, you got yourself a jar, and this only cost me 49p. Lovely. You go online, you look for 150, this, you think you need this specific jars. Who cares? Just get a damn jar. I do prefer wide mouth. So at the end of the process, when I have the cake, I could just shake it out. But really, I don't care because what I'm doing, I'm going into bulk spawn. So I'm cool to scoop it out with a fork, with whatever. It doesn't need to slide out. That's fine. So 49p jars. I got 15 of them. All right. Now, the ingredients. I'll give you a write-up of the stuff after, you know. As far as these ingredients, the ratios and stuff like that, this is my own recipe that I worked out after trial and tribulations, yeah, just going in, okay? And every time, especially if you're going on this journey, you want to keep a journal. You want to start writing down what happens, what you do, what you use. So when things go wrong, you could go right back into it, okay? So even though I haven't done it in almost 2 years, I just went to my notes. And real quick, it's good. So starting with vermiculite, right? All these things are necessary. I'm not going to get into the science. So vermiculite first. Stay with me. Vermiculite. Cool. I'll give you a write-up after. Brown rice flour. So this is where the name comes from, BRF, because utilize brown rice flour as the food for the mycelium. So pick this up real inexpensive. You see Holland & Barrett, wherever, just go online, brown rice flour. If you don't have brown rice flour, then you can just get regular brown rice and you could just throw that thing into a coffee grinder and turn it into flour. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I don't know why I made that little noise. I don't know why I made that noise. Having a Kevin Hart moment or something. Boom, boom, boom. Well, whatever. Gypsum. You normally see it say like plaster of Paris. It's stuff that they use in sheetrock. Gypsum. It's a particular type of nutrient. It helps to raise like the pH levels of what we're dealing with. You don't need to know all the science. Just get the shit. Get the vermiculite. Get the brown rice flour. Get some gypsum. You can get you some coffee grounds. You know, if you use coffee on a regular and you just have regular coffee grounds that you already used, you could throw it in there. I don't drink coffee, so I just buy coffee grounds and throw it in. I don't care. It doesn't make a big deal. You know, don't be like, oh, it have to be used. Don't have to be used. But if you just want to go to local Starbucks and rummage through their trash and stuff like that and grab some used coffee grounds, then that's what you could do, but whatever. And water. All right. So what we're going to do first is going to take a big pot. Where's the pot? We'll just use this pot because it's right here. Bowl, whatever the case. All right. So I'm going to go with my vermiculite. So everything is I already put the right amount in everything. So I have, what did I put in here? I don't know. I gram it out. So I don't really go by quarts. I like to scale out all my stuff because in doing it, I found out that when I scale out things, it works better. You know, it's easier to adjust. So I'm just taking my vermiculite. I'm dumping it in here. I'm keeping it real quick. Everything in there. Now I'm taking my water, right? Throw my water in there. Wish I had let me look for a big wooden spoon or something. 1 second. All right, that's cool. So let me try to bring you in a little closer over here. think that's good enough. So mixing the vermiculite in. I'm stirring it as I go around. So what I find as well is nothing is created equal. Like you could get a batch and you put a certain amount of water in there because that's what you did last time. But for some reason, that particular batch, it doesn't work out the same way. You know, maybe from the manufacturer, they put different amount of ingredients in the vermiculite, the ratios were different or whatever the case. But after doing it a few times, you know what you're looking for, right? So we're making substrate, if I didn't say that. We're making substrate. This is a substrate that the shrooms will grow from. And it's always best to have your substrate more on the dry side than the wet side. So what I mean by that, after mixing up all my stuff, if I see that my substrate is more on the wet side, I'm gonna add in more things. It's not a big deal. I could add in more vermiculite, that's cool. I wouldn't really wanna add in more coffee grounds or gypsum because that could just throw off the pH, you know. So cool. That's mixed in. Easy deal. I'm gonna take brown rice flour. And for the amount that I'm making, it makes exactly 14 jars for me. Okay, 14 jars at 180 mil each jar. So I'm pulling the whole thing. I already worked out the numbers, putting the whole thing. If I was just doing 7 jars, I would only put 250. But I'm doing 14, 15 jars. So I put the whole 500 grams of brown rice flour. I put the water in first. And let the water mix with the vermiculite. After that mixes in good, then I'll put in the brown rice flour. Don't ask me why. I don't remember why. That's how I do it, and that's how it works. You know. Sometimes people go crazy in these comments like, well, why do you do it like this? The other guy did this first and this. Hey, listen, I got the results. Don't ask me why I did it. I tweaked shit and I kept on tweaking things till I started getting the results that I wanted. And I just stayed there. That's it. End up. So yeah, you see that right there? That's the consistency I want already. It's not too dry. I'm not even touching it yet, but I want to mix it good. That's cool for the sake of the video. Let me come in here. Boom, boom. Can you see that right? Yeah. Maybe you can, whatever. Now, on to my coffee grounds. For this batch, I'll put a teaspoon of coffee grounds in enough for 7 jars. So I'm doing double that amount of jars, so I'm putting 2. Y'all remember that commercial, like Folgers commercial? The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. It's an old school thing, but yeah. I don't know. So 2. That's in there. Gypsum. I'm putting 2 in there as well. Stir it in. Whatever the case, whether you want to heap in or flat, whatever. Just get it in there. There's certain aspects that you have to be really precise about, but not this. It's very different when we're going on to other things, you know. When you're dealing with indoor growing, sterilization is very big, you know. Outdoor shroom growing is very different. Very different. So yeah, that's all in there. Always make sure you mix it up real good. I used to use my hands to mix it, but too much stuff gets on your hand and then you're shaking it off. It's just better to use a utensil. I prefer using a fork, actually. So I did it just for that because there was a lot of things, but I'm gonna use a fork now because the fork helps me make it finer. So any like little lumps that I see, I just go through the fork and just press it in. You know. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. So that's all done. Now I'm ready to touch it, see what it feels like. Oh yeah, that's nice. Do you see that? Do you see how grainy that is? Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? One more time. Do you see that? Do you see the look? I'm good at this shit, I'm good at this shit. If you're having clumps, like big clumps and stuff like that, like just drop down like mud pies and stuff like that, it's not a good deal. I want it to be light, real light. Now I'm gonna get into what is this shit called? What is science geeks call this crap? I'm a science geek too, so don't be offended by this shit, all right? Field capacity. Field capacity. Yeah. Field capacity. All right. It's talking about how much water like the substrate is able to absorb. So what I want to do at the end of it, this is a substrate that I'm making. I know it says cakes, but it's a substrate that I'm making. So I'm going to be filling this substrate into each one of those jars. But when I take it up in my hand and I squeeze, I want just a drop or barely a drop to trickle out. So let's see. Let's zoom in real quick. See what we got here. I'm squeezing, and there's nothing. The water has just disappeared. Now the water's in there, but that's perfect. I'm cool. Even like if I was doing it and like a few drops came out, just a few drops, not squeezing and like having a whole stream of drops. If you're having a stream of drops, it's way too wet. But if you're able to squeeze and just one drop comes out, good deal. So I'm happy with that. Me. This is my show. I do what I want, and I'm happy with that. Okay? Thank you. That's me just answering heads in the comments. People are vicious in the comments. Like, they say shit to you in the comments that they wouldn't ever say to you in real life to your face. You know what I mean? Just because I just mush your face. I just get out of my face with that crap. But yeah, I'm ready for the jars. So spin y'all around over here again. So you see these jars? Yes. Spin you back around over here again. And what I'm going to do, take a spoon and you just start loading it in. Be clean with it the best you can. You don't want a whole bunch of stuff around the brim, just tossing it in. I try to get it just right in there, So I'll show you after. So I'm filling it. Loose fill, not to the top, but to probably right under that brim, where the jars, where the twist, the threads go, right under that. You see? So fill it right there. You don't want to fill it up all the way to here. Just fill it up right under here. That's cool. Drop a lid on here. See the lid? See the lid. So I'm just keeping this real time. What he said? Yo, don't want to waste time. All right, Adam, it's cool. I understand, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna make now I'm gonna make some air exchange holes. So we're done here with the substrate. This part is done. That's it. I don't know how long that took, but that's quick. Obviously, I'll fill up the rest, but this is what we're dealing with. So I'm just gonna take a knife, or if you got a little can opener, I'm gonna make like 3 little holes on the top. So, where is that? So we could get into all the stuff about the holes, but really, yes, it's air exchange, and it's gas exchange. So I'm just doing 3. I'm doing like a triangle. I'll show you what it looks like. So for me, I'm just using the point of the knife, holding the top, just coming down easy. That's it. You see, that's already in there. And then all I do is turn the knife either right or the left. That's cool. That's it. Let's see, can you see that? Well, let me finish doing them all 3. So, boom. I don't know where the hell the camera is over here. So you see, just 3 holes, doesn't matter. Just have them in there. Gas exchange, air exchange, that's cool. You learn more about that after. It's fine. Now, getting the foil paper. Where's the foil paper? I'll explain why. Well, it's gonna look like this. You're gonna take a piece of foil paper and you're gonna cover up the top. Yep, just regular foil paper. Don't need all that. But probably about a square. So much I don't want too much hanging off. You see right there? And I just, let me aim you down so you can see me here. So I'm just going on the top. Just put it in the center. That's it. Compressing around, make sure it's on. That's it. This BRF cake in this jar is ready for sterilization. Why did I put that on top? This is the moisture prevention. It ensures that there's no water that actually drops in here, but there's air still able to get out and stuff like that. Remember, because the air exchange holes that we put in there. So this is cool. So you're gonna do every single jar like this, and you're going to put it in. So this would be the same jar, same pot that I use to sterilize the substrate, right? What I mean by sterilize. So sterilizing, you want to make sure that you get all the contaminants removed. You know, I say all the contaminants, but really and truly, when it comes to like shroom cultivation, you never like remove all the contaminants, but it's always a race that you're playing. You're trying to allow the mycelium to take off and win the race before the other competing bacteria catches up and fucks up your shit. That's always gonna happen. It's always gonna happen, you know. So it's just a race. So sterilization involves you boiling the not the whole substrate, but having a small amount of water into a pot, putting your jars in there or whatever it is that you're sterilizing, and you're putting it on a high heat for a period of 90 minutes. There's more science behind that, you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Look it up after, But 90 minutes at a particular temperature, whether you decide to use a regular pot, and you put the metal in it. Let me show you real quick. Let me show you a different one. Since we can't use that pot, I'll show you what I mean. So if you're just starting off, yes, get into a pressure cooker. Pressure cooker it'll save you a lot, I started off not using a pressure cooker, and I just stayed not using one, and that's my method. But you see this like little tray or coaster, this metal thing, you drop it in there. You drop it in the pot because you never want the jars touching the bottom of the pot. So that allows me to keep the jar in there without touching the bottom of the pot. See that? And what I would do, I would put enough water in there so it's just under the jar. I don't want the water touching the jar, just under the jar. I'll pack in all of the 15 or whatever, 16, whatever could fit in here will go in here. Just like that, a whole bunch of these will go in there. I'll cover it up, put that little amount of water just under the jar, and I'll go ahead and I'll boil that on a high heat. It depends on the stove that you have, but either high or the one next to high for 90 minutes. If you're not using a pressure cooker, you definitely, well, using a pressure cooker or not, you're gonna have to keep an eye on the water. Make sure you put enough water in there to last. If you don't, then you're gonna have to open it back up and add some water. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Gave you the crash course on it. All right.